Hi guys, I'm back, and I was going to do the watercolor paintings that I do, and I thought I was only going to do the painting, but I had second thoughts about that. I'll explain, a little bit about it so that you can get more of a feeling. So, ooh, I forgot the paper. There we are. Okay, now what you need to do this stuff is you need watercolor paper, and the important thing is this is the weight of the paper. So 300 and above is okay, because then you have less chance that it's going to warp. So then I'm going to be using one of these, a parallel pen, and they are not that expensive, and it's really fun to use one. So it's sort of a Zen thing. So they are like, you can buy them all over the place. This is in English. Everything that's on here is English, so I think it wouldn't be such a problem to buy one. So this is mine. I've been using it for a lot of drawings, so one cartridge goes a long way. And in the pen is just a normal, oh, it's almost empty. I talked too fast. Oh no, there's some in there. So you get these cartridges and you just pop them in, and then you can use it. And it's all about that nib on the top that does the work. So that's something that you might want to buy. If not, you can always use black watercolor. Now, I also use like these black pens, and some of those you have to pay attention when you buy them. Some are not waterproof. These are water and fade proof. This is pigment inked. And if you're going to be selling things, I think it's always the best thing to do is buy stuff that is archival and really, for the art stuff. Now, another thing that I use, and I just bought these. These are the best pens ever. They're Pen Touch, that's how they're called. If you Google it, you Google Sakura and then Pen Touch, and this is gold. And they have them in 3 different sizes. This one is 0.7, then 1.0, and 2 millimeters. So I have 3 of these. Here you can see Pen Touch Sakura. They are the best gold pens I have bought up to date, so they are really good. Now, the watercolor I'm going to be using is the Vallejo. This is the liquid watercolor. They come in a lot of different colors, and you only really need a couple of drops because you don't really need that much. And I've sort of forgot my whole palette. Be right back. There we are. So, as you can see, I've been using this for a lot of these paintings. And this is all Vallejo. And the parallel pen, that's the black. This one. So I've been using a lot of the paint, and all you really need is a few drops. You don't need much. So if you buy one of these little bottles, they are around, I think around $4, something like that. You could do so much with them. Then of course you want some brushes and some water, and then you're good to go. Now I'm going to wet some of these colors because they've dried up. But as you can see, if I put in a little bit of H2O, they come back to life. That's the same color. Oh, no, it's a little darker. These colors, you can mix them, and then they give you different colors. So that's something that you can do. But you can see that just adding water, it just, brings them back. So that's a good thing to have, because otherwise you could just throw it out, and now you don't need to. Oops, that was a little dark brown. Okay. Now, what I like to do, and I'm just going to do one because that's going to give you an idea of how this works and what you gotta think about. So I draw a stone. Let's just do one stone. Now, this is your outline. So when you get your brush, you wet your brush. Let me get clean water. And all you have to do is keep between those lines. So what I'm doing is, because there's light reflecting on the moist bit, I can see where I've been. And then all you have to do is spread it around and make sure everything is nice and wet. And this is so much fun. This is so, I don't know, I get so relaxed when I'm doing these. Maybe that's why I make so many of them. So put in a little bit more water. There you go. Now, there's a couple of things that you have to think about when you're doing this. First, do you want that black to really spread? Then you need this little circle to be pretty moist, but not that it's pooling. So it's just wet right now. Then I get this parallel pen, and you'll see that when I touch it and where it's wet, see that? How it spreads out? Maybe I should get you in a little bit closer. Yeah, there you can see it. Now watch how it does that all by itself. See that? I'm just really touching that really slightly, and it just pulls out that ink and starts spreading it. And this too is, this is so much my Zen time. But what I do want to do is sort of keep, you know, in the line. And the more you touch the paper, the more of that black ink is going to come out. And it's going to spread. So we're going to go all around. Some places we do want it to spread out a little bit, some we don't. And you can see here where it didn't spread, that's because it's not that wet anymore. So if you want to spread out a little bit, you don't make it as wet as if you want it to really spread out, you make it really wet. Now we have that in place. I'm not sure if I can show you that it's still wet. Oh yeah, there you go. See that? It's still wet, but where that black ink is, it's already starting to dry. So then you have to speed it up a little bit. So we're gonna do, I think the brown one. Let's do the brown one. Okay, so I've loaded up my brush with that brown Vallejo watercolor. And as you can see, we just tap it on. We want a lot of dark there. Oops. I'll get you in the picture. And we want brown here. Now, when you have it on there, then you sort of clean your brush, take some of the excess water off the brush, and then we're going to spread it out. Just a little bitty bit. And we don't want to be too, you know, everyone can do this. This is just sort of filling in the gaps down here. Now, if you want to activate that black stuff again, all you really have to do is make sure your brush is a little bit wet. You put it on there, and then you start to move it around. See that? See how it moves? Now, you don't want a tight line, so we're going to put a little bit of water on there that it runs. And this is really all there is to it. So you let it run all over the place. Just by putting a little bit of water on it, it runs. And we're gonna want some darker stuff up here. Now, if your line is a little wobbly, don't worry about it, because we're gonna fix that up once this is dry. So I'm cleaning off my brush again. Now it's really, see that it's really dry, because then you can lift up a little bit where it's too wet and you don't want it to spread anymore. You can just lift the water off with your brush. This is also used to blend things together. So I'm just wetting that down a little bit. Now I'm making it a little bit more wet so that this is gonna spread into each other. And of course you can always come back in, give it a little bit more paint, and that's gonna work. Now sometimes you have these little, here you have these little spots where there's no paint and no water. I kind of like that because I don't know, it just adds to the stones, I think. So this you just let dry. I gotta get you guys back, zoom you back out. There you go. And now we're gonna add here a little bit because I think that really needs a little bit of color. So I'm gonna make sure it's gonna fade into each other a little bit. All you do is, you know, clean your brush, wipe it on a piece of paper, and then just make it fade into each other. Now that's okay. We're gonna keep it like this. Now I'm gonna be drying this because I want to take you to the next steps. So be right back. Okay, we're back and it's dry. And I do want to get you a little bit zoomed in here, that you can see it a little bit better. Let's see, yeah. Okay. Now it's dry, and of course when it's dry it's not like it's set in stone, because you can still reactivate it. You can add another color if you like on top of it and it will bleed into it. So you can go on from here. But what I do when I'm satisfied and it's all finished, then I get one of the pens that are waterproof and I tighten up the outline. So all you have to do, and this, you know, you need a little bit of patience, but you want to tighten it up. And what I also like, but I'm going to use a different pen, the waterproof one. Also what I like is if the, here where you don't see any black, I do like it when the line is sort of continuous. So that's what I'll just do to connect everything, because I think it makes for, I don't know, it looks better. So we tighten that up. And let's just say we tightened everything up, because I'm not gonna really do it all, because this takes a long time, and it really, you want to do a little zen-like when you're doing this. But just let's say for the sake of the video that it's ready. Then of course you got a lot of things to think about. What do you want to do with it? You know, just this as is nice, but you can do so many things with it. You could centangle on top of it, some sort of a really cute pattern, put like bands over it with centangle. Another thing that I like, and that's why I got my little pens, is putting little funny things on them, like a little rainbow. I'll show you in the light in a bit, and I've got them all on there. But when you're going to use this, you really need everything to be really dry. So we're going to put a rainbow on this wall. And I'd like a rainbow up here. Maybe a bigger one. Now, because they're gold, I really do need to see them in the light. See that? There you go. They're the little golden rainbows. And then you just take it from there. If you like it like this, leave it. If not, you can sort of make negative rainbows right down here. I'm getting a little jaggedy things, but that's just because I want to. Usually I would do this, you know, with a lot of patience and really make sure that it's tight. If you're afraid that you're not going to be doing it right, you could first do it with pencil. I'll show you how. Just take a pencil and then just make those little rainbowy things. And if you think it's okay, then you can always come back in with the pen. And then take an eraser and you erase that pencil away. There you go. Then one more. Gotta get my water out of the way. Now, you can do so many things because, you know, I just can't, you know, show them all to you, but this is sort of like something that is fun to do. You don't need a studio for this. You can do this at your kitchen table or in the living room while other people are watching TV. And now I'm filling in between these black lines. I'm filling it in with a little bit of gold because I like that. But you could fill it in with another color if you like that. With a Posca pen, you could fill it in with, I don't know, rusty brown color. But when this hits the light, it sort of is cool to see. Now, when we've done that, then I usually come in with a thicker pen touch pen. And what I like to do is just give it these little gold dots. And you can do that really fast. All around these little rainbow things. Especially on the black, because that really looks nice, you know. It's a nice contrast when you have that gold on the black. Makes it pop. Oops. Now too much of gold came out, but okay. That was bound to happen because I'm just doing everything a little bit too fast. That's okay. And again, you know, when the light touches it, it's going to give that really nice look. Here it spilled out a little bit, but okay, we can't do anything about that. Maybe, you know, if you do this and that happens to you and you're making something that you really want to keep, then you could just come back in and make them all a little bit bigger. No problem with that. Might even be cooler. Make some a little bigger. Now, there's a lot of things you can do with this. So what I also like is, you know, when you pull the strings like this, I kind of like that. But then you need a couple of more stones. And all you really have to do is say, like, here's another stone. And we've already colored it. You go to the narrowest point and you start there. You give it a line. But what I like to do is, you don't want the straight lines because, well, you can if you want to, but I think they're not as appealing as these lines that sort of go over each other, because it's sort of nicer to look at. So we do that, and we do that. You can connect it like that. Then, of course, you can, if you like that, you're more of the flower person, you could come in with a pencil, because you do need a little bit of direction, and then make these little flowery things come out, and you color them in. Now what I did was I made them black and then came back in and I outlined with gold, as you can see here. I wish it would show up a little bit better, but it doesn't. So you could do that. And of course you could, if you like it, you could come in and do the sort of I don't know, sort of orbiting around the whole thing. I kind of like that too. It looks kind of artsy. But you do want to make sure that you don't go over the same line too many times. You know, you want a little bit of variation. So that's going to give it something artsy. But you can't do all of this together. You can't do the flowers and the rainbows and this. That doesn't look good. Which is another thing. You know, when I'm on Facebook, I'm in a couple of groups. And then people come in and they show their work. And the thing is that everyone says, oh, it's beautiful. It is stunning. I love it. It's the best thing I've seen. And I'm thinking, come on, people, give her some direction. Because, you know, sometimes you get into your own piece of art and, you know, you don't see it anymore. And I've even had people comment on my stuff, like they gave me tips. They said, you know, maybe if you took this color or that color or did it this way or that way. And it makes me think. And then I try it out. And, you know, I've learned something. But on Facebook, I think it's a sort of a Facebook group rule that you just only say amazing and stunning and beautiful, and that's it. So why be in a group? I'm not sure, because I'd rather have people say, you know, have you thought about using this, or have you thought about doing it like that? Because that's the whole learning experience. But you don't get that on Facebook groups. There might be some that are really totally honest. And it's not to say that your art isn't good. It's just about giving you options to think about next time so that you can grow and you can become better. But, you know, when I see something and I'm sure it's like the colors are all muddy and, you know, they did something that you shouldn't do to paint, I just scroll by, because I think if I say anything about it, they're gonna, you know, think I'm jealous or something else. I don't know. So, but I thought that was funny. And another thing, guys, June 1st, I think it is, they're going to be telling us stuff about UFOs and extraterrestrial stuff, I heard, in the good old US of A. So I think Trump made that possible. Just before he left, he sort of pushed something through about, you know, sort of making it known to the public what has been going on, you know, with UFOs and extraterrestrials. So I'm pretty looking forward to that. I can tell you that. But I bet it's going to be you know, that we all say, yeah, sure, we've heard that all before. But we'll see. Maybe they'll surprise us, right? So that was something I was really, really looking forward to. Okay, guys, this was it from me. And we're going to be doing some house hunting, because I have been saving some, not the houses I want, but I thought it would be really, really fun to show you those houses. There are some really old farmhouses, which they did, you know, renovate from the inside, and amazing stuff. So I think I'll be doing that tomorrow. I'll just put out another video. Who cares, right? And we'll do a little more house hunting, and I might even show you some that I'm thinking about, and it's going to be fun. So see you tomorrow then, guys. And, you know, this is fun. And don't think that you need every single thing that I have. If you don't have the parallel pen, just use the, like, Indian ink with a really little brush. You can put that on. As long as your where you're putting it on is wet, it will spread. So have fun with this. Love you to pieces. Bye-bye.